Dun, dun, dun.
Welcome to the High Heels Happy Hour. Welcome back, hopefully,
Yes, welcome,
to
welcome.
our loyal listeners, watchers,
And
and
if you're new, welcome.
welcome. And today we're going to go there. We're
Yes,
going to dive in on those lumps and bumps that we don't
that we
like.
love.
No, we don't. But if you are new or coming back, please hit subscribe or follow if you haven't already, so you don't miss another riveting episode of
Yes.
High Heels Happy Hour, where we discuss pretty much anything we feel like. No, but anything that will enhance our lifestyle, health,
Day, week.
mental clarity, all of it, all of the
Yes.
above. Yes. So, how was your week?
Week was great. Not really.
She said, if you were watching on YouTube, great with that face. That was
So when I bought our house or home,
yeah.
came with a wire, which is one of those things that you're like, okay, I'm gonna fix the closet.
Are you talking about wire closet
Wire
thingies?
closet.
Okay, yeah. I
Which
hate those, by the way.
I do too, but
They're
it's
the worst
I
thing
haven't made
ever.
a decision to put the closet together.
Mhm.
And I was thinking about it, but the universe thought, stop thinking about it, and it could totally.
Oh, the universe just sorted that out for you.
Yes. And what's interesting was so scary. Victor had gone into the shower, so I thought he fell.
oh.
And I'm like, oh my God.
So all the high wire things came out.
Completely
And is
out.
it like I've been in there since I, was part of your closet audit, but I can't remember. It's like a really long one, right?
Yes, the really long one is on the floor. And I had boxes of shoes on top.
Yeah.
So all the shoes, everything was everywhere.
Well, it was time then.
So I was thinking of that. I was just telling you that or the floor. But now I need to do the floor upstairs before I do the closet. So just unplanned expenses.
Unplanned expenses are never fun. But it is more fun things than like a water heater. Not that you don't need a water heater, but it's not sexy. You don't see it. At least the floor and your closet, you'll see.
Yes.
So you'll get
and it could be
visual benefit.
And it's not a health emergency or anything. So I can't complain.
No.
So
no, that's true.
But. So other than that, it's good. Just not expecting to plan for that.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, it's been a lot. I've been cooking up a storm this week to fill the freezer I am going to go back to Sweden shortly. And I feel like I am the one doing all the cooking usually in my house because I love it. It's not a something I complain about, but I feel like I probably should prepare them for my absence a little bit. So I been cooking a lot.
So it's really nice of you.
I think so. I forgot to turn my phone off. I figured that might be good to not have that go off right now. And I think that's nice.
That's
it is. Yeah. That's what I've been doing. I'm going to do some more of it this week as well. But yeah, I cleaned out the freezer at the same time because there were things there that I don't care if it's frozen. It doesn't mean it lasts forever. So I had to.
Okay, so I have to say, this is really interesting. So when moms travel, we tend to prepare.
Yeah.
And it's interesting when the father goes.
Yeah, there's
no preparing.
No.
I think that's a little off.
Well, as we will talk about today too, we are genetically different, men and women, and
that's your life hack today.
So my life hack is something that will be mentioned later, but I really love red light therapy. I am a big fan. I've been doing it for the last, not full year, but maybe since before, I mean, at least the last 6, 8 months, I've been doing it regularly as I can. And I'm going to miss it now when I go to Sweden. So I have to figure it out somehow. So I will say, so there's a lot of different red light therapies. You can do panels, you can do those face masks, which I would love one, by the way. Um, I do one at Vero Fitness here in Vero Beach. The
Mm.
gym has one of those beds that looks like an old tanning bed.
Mm-hmm.
So you lay down, it's like your little coffin, and then you put your lid down. So you get red light all over. And I will say, I swear, my skin looks better. And it's not just the face, but like everywhere. I think it just, yeah.
That's
And
good for
I'm
you.
going to talk about why that might be. But it's great for not just from looks and vanity. It's also, I feel that when I've been working out, my recovery, muscle soreness recovery is way better after I
Mm.
do um, red light therapy. So I swear by it. And if you're in Vero, you can do a subscription to the red light bed at Vero Fitness.
Mm-hmm.
Or I think your spa has some panels too, right?
Yeah, we have some panels,
Yeah. No, I
which
think
I love.
it's
Red light
phenomenal.
is awesome.
Yeah.
So my hack,
Yes.
we're also going to talk about today,
Yeah.
is cavitation.
Yes. I love that too.
Cavitation.
Yes.
It's, again, it's not for losing 1,000 pounds, but it's really good for tightening and rebuilding of the skin. So
what is it?
well, we're gonna go
Okay.
into it.
Okay.
So
yeah. So we have
I
that
won't
as
spill the
a
beans. Just
part of
all of
the
it.
radio frequency
Yes.
and stuff. Okay.
So
I said we're going to go there today, and we're going to talk about cellulite, because we can all pretend that others don't have it.
yeah.
But let's face it, if you are born female, you probably have some area where you get it.
It's not fair.
And what is cellulite? For those enlightened men listening to our podcast, and men can get it too, but it's not very common. So it is that lumpy, dimply skin that we see, also known as orange peel skin. And it most often you find it on your thighs, buttocks, uh, abdomen, and hips, and arms. Yes. So, and I will say my first encounter was at age, I think, 13. I hadn't thought about it, but my sister, who was then 20, her and her friends were obsessed with cellulite all of a sudden. I'm like, I started looking, and I had it too. I'm like, oh, great. No one had pointed that out before. They were squeezing their thighs looking, and of course I had to do the same. And
If you squeeze it, of course you're gonna see it.
13, I'm like, man, I have this stuff. So let's just talk about what it is and why do some seem to have more or less, and is it weight related or not, and why the heck does men get it?
I know.
So let's talk about that. It's all about the connective tissue. That's what determines your cellulite level and why men and women have this. So connective tissue is under the skin, the fascia under the skin. So men have a much tighter mesh. Their connective tissue is more like a tight mesh. So think of it as a nylon stocking. Whereas women have a looser mesh. Think of it as fishnets. And this is, of course, oversimplified, but just so you kind of get the visual picture. And when you have a tighter mesh, nothing can come out in between, right? Almost like a spank. It just holds it all in. Whereas a fishnet stocking things can pop out between the holes.
Not fair.
So that's why women have more appearance of cellulite, is because of our connective tissue. So it's genetically, we are different. So yeah, keep that visual fishnet
Yeah.
stocking versus
I'll never look at fishnets the
nylon
same again.
stockings or versus Spanx. But that structure for men holds it all, kind of holds it in, and that's why they don't get appearance of cellulite as often or as commonly as women. Now, for us women, we are also different genetically in how our connective tissue is. So it could be that, some people that are very overweight still don't have cellulite. So it's not always a fat issue. Whereas some people, doesn't matter how skinny you are, you still have cellulite. So I'm fairly lean. I have about like 13-14% body fat, and I still have cellulite. So I don't think I can ever not have it. I especially have it on my arms. Well, that's where I've always seen it or been obsessed. Well, if I squeeze my skin, I do. But I mean, I do have quite muscular arms, so they can still creep up. So I would say just because you have cellulite doesn't mean that you're automatically overweight. It's just how our connective tissue is structured. So that kind of sounds like, well, then there's no hope, right? But hey, there is hope.
There's always hope.
There are things. So today I'm going to talk about ways, long-term ways we can reduce cellulite. And it's all going to be about that structure, trying to make our fishnets more like nylons and how we do that. And then there's also, say that you have a party you're going to go to next week. Well, you're not going to change your connective tissue in a week. So are there things we can do that's a quick fix? And yes, there are quick fixes too. So are we ready?
Yeah.
How is your relationship with cellulite?
Great.
Yeah. Great. Meaning you don't have them?
I believe the only place I have them is behind, like my leg behind.
Okay.
Like my what?
Back of your legs?
Hamstrings.
Hamstrings. Okay.
A little.
Okay.
But or maybe I just beg to just not look at it. So I don't know. Yeah. But that's the only
That's okay. But yeah. So for us females too, saying, depending on how you connect the tissue, I see it, since I work a lot with clients and I do personal style consultations, I see it also in certain body shapes are more prone. And it, again, has to do genetically, how you're.
Yeah, I can see
so
that.
if you are, for instance, a triangle that's bigger on top, smaller on the bottom, and you usually don't get cellulite on your legs as much. You might get it more on the arms or abdomen, but yeah, it's just how we're all different. Then if you tend to be more curvy as a triangle where you, inverted triangle has it more on the top. If you're a triangle, we're not fruit, we're shapes.
Oh, shape.
Then you're more prone to gain weight on your buttocks, and then you're also more prone to cellulite.
I wouldn't be opposed to having more weight on my buttocks.
Well, but you probably want more muscle in your buttocks.
Well, that
maybe
too.
Not subcutaneous fat.
No. But also,
hey, there are a lot of procedures for that now.
I know there's so many. I'm tempted, but I gotta fix my closet now. So.
Oh yeah, no.
What I will say is, due to the connective tissue, that's probably why we can bear children. We probably need that.
Yes, and it's also during certain times in our lives, our fat cells don't usually multiply, but they do when we're pregnant, and they do, I think, in puberty. That's when we get more so we can expand.
How exciting.
Um, Otherwise, our fat cells, they just grow or shrink. So, but we don't get more fat cells.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. But certain times in life, and pregnancy is one of them, because we are, you know, making a human.
Which that
Hmm.
just gave me like a huge aha. You should see this on YouTube.
Oh. Hmm.
You know, that's really interesting because a lot of women do not take care of themselves when they're pregnant,
Hmm.
thinking, "Oh, I'll just get it back. I'll just go
You
back to
just
normal."
bounce back.
And
Yeah. That's,
you just we just
that's
said, and
yeah.
we gain so much more fat cells that it's actually that's why it's a little difficult to get bounced back.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not
Takes a little bit.
not easy, huh? Okay.
Yeah, you're not just shrinking your thing you have to get rid of. Okay, so let's talk about things we can do to reduce cellulite more permanently. And of course, that was not my phone, that was your phone. I'm sorry, people. We're not on top of our phones today. And no, when you any like with anything, diet, working out, whatever what I'm the tips I'm giving, if you stop doing it, it's going to come back.
Hmm.
It's not like a one-time fix and you're never going to have cellulite. But there are definitely ways where we can work on that connective tissue, that issue with the fishnet. And number one, shocker, exercise. Dum, dum, dum. The more muscle mass you have, the less subcutaneous fat. And the subcutaneous fat is the fat we can pinch and feel. It's the one we usually get super annoyed with, as
Hmm.
opposed to visceral fat, which is the fat that's underneath, more around our organs, which is the really dangerous fat.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the one where you could feel like, oh, my stomach is super hard. Some men be like, yeah, it's rock hard. Well, it's
It's hard
visceral
lard.
fat, so it's not. But the subcutaneous fat, the more muscle you have, the less subcutaneous fat you can have.
Yes.
The less stuff is going to try to get through the fishnet stockings. So muscle won't go through the fishnet stocking. It's just going to keep everything nice and firm. So yes, cardio exercise is good too. But if you really want to work on your muscle mass and diminishing cellulite, you want to do resistance training. You want to build muscle. Cardio does not build muscle.
No.
So that's something you really want to work on. And no, you can't just do what do you call it?
Spots.
Spot treatments. No, like you can't just do. I'm just going to do glute exercises, or I'm just going to work on my arm. You work all
Whole body.
over and whole body, yeah, because the connective tissue is not just going to change in one area. It's going to change all over.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Firmer and tighter is what we want, right? We want more of that Spanx look. So exercise number one. Number two, also a huge shocker. Your diet determines how much stuff is coming through the fishnet. So a healthy diet. And no, we don't need to go on a diet. We just need to have a healthy lifestyle where we choose more whole foods, meaning foods the way they came to Earth or from Earth, and avoid the ultra processed foods because that has high sodiums, which will retain water, which is something we will discuss more too. And the fat, the sugar that's hidden in ultra processed foods will increase the size of your fat cells. So that will mean more loose subcutaneous fat that goes through your fishnet
Doesn't
stockings.
sound exciting.
No, but that's pretty much goes for all health implications. So if you are someone who eat a lot of food, either out of a drive-through window or from a box or a bag,
can.
or can be
no.
fine.
Yeah, yes.
You gotta reevaluate your diet and try to do more real foods, so to speak, whole foods. Another thing is hydration with your diet. So make sure that you're drinking a lot of water, uh, preferably um, I can't speak today.
Hydrate,
Blah 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 blah. What is it called?
ice hydration
No,
packets.
yes, well, not hydration packets. It's called
IV.
oh well, we'll get back to that. I can't speak. Some salt and some magnesium and some.
Hydration packet.
That's not a hydration pack. That's not what it's called. It's called electrolytes. Thank you very much. Some electrolytes in your water if you're drinking a lot, because otherwise you're just going to flush out your minerals. But hydration will also flush out some of the toxins that can lead to contribute to cellulite. So important to keep hydrated and drink throughout the day. Number three, third way to diminish the appearance of cellulite is to balance your hormones. Because yes, certain times of our lives, hormone fluctuates, and hormones have a big impact on that mesh. So if your hormones are imbalanced, it can loosen the mesh even more. So now it's not just fishnets. Now it's, I don't know,
Loosen the mesh and makes you look like a
bigger
mess.
holes in the mesh. It's just so you have less of that Spanx effect
And more mess.
and more mess in the mesh. And it happens for us women of a certain age, definitely in perimenopause and menopause. That affects. It does happen in puberty, and that's why we see when girls have gone through puberty, that's when the cellulite starts appearing because the mesh has now gotten loose enough. So if you're in perimenopause or menopause, you might want to have your hormones checked, and by balancing your hormones, you might also help reduce cellulite. Next up is something called fascia blasting, and I have a tool. I think I've had that as a hack once. This is a fascia blaster. These are little knobs, but they're like little fingers like that. Made famous by a woman called Ashley Black, but I know there are a lot of different fascia blasters. So what you do, it's something you use it on your skin where you're prone to cellulite. You need some oil or something. I actually use this in the shower with the water and soap. Works great. What you're doing now is you're going into that connective tissue, the fascia that is right underneath, as the tissue that surrounds your bones and your muscles and your organs. And by massaging it, you are loosening or you're changing the connective tissue. So it can, because sometimes it can get stuck that's why you can get a lot of pain, soreness from when you've been working out. So it works. I know it's used for athletes too, to loosen up muscles, but it also helps with that changing the connective tissue so that it grows back tighter. So it really helps. So because it goes deeply, you go deep enough into the tissue, as opposed to cream. A cream cannot penetrate and change the same way. We'll talk more about creams in a little bit. But it really it reduces inflammation, and so it not only makes you less sore, it also helps with cellulite. So I do recommend some fascia blasting. It does help. It takes, I mean, yeah, it's a bit of a workout. I'll say that, because you need to kind of go in there. But there are a lot of different options out there, and yeah, try it out. I like it. And then Then we have collagen
Mm.
supplementation. So this is something we can inhale or intake, eat, drink,
Mm-hmm.
that will help because collagen, oral collagen supplements, and they often come in a powder form, it may improve that elasticity of the connective tissue to make it a little tighter. And that way um, reduce cellulite over time. So I'm sometimes skip my collagen a little bit. I eat a lot of protein, but collagen is different than regular protein. So just because you're eating protein doesn't mean you get necessarily get collagen.
Mm.
So it's important. It's great for skin, nails, joints, connective tissue. So definitely recommend getting a good, high quality collagen supplement. Then we have some more kind of, these are all things you can do yourself. Then we have more of medical and cosmetic procedures that have studies have shown help reduce cellulite. The first one is laser therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's different laser treatments, something called cellulase, which sounds exactly what you need to sap out the cellulite.
Yes.
But it breaks down, same thing there, breaks down the connective tissue in a way to where it kind of changes the structure and stimulates the collagen production to
So it
make it.
becomes
Because
smoother.
collagen, when we lose that, it just that same thing in our skin is when we get wrinkly, and because it's the elasticity in our, it's like logs. They just kind of, they're not as firm. They start, the log
Mm-hmm.
cabin is falling apart. So by collagen, it firms everything up.
And talking about the face, that's why I use the gua sha.
Yeah,
The gua sha, when you put a little bit of
we are.
pressure,
Yes, that's
it
another one we're gonna put
oh, well,
into.
that's when you said
Yeah,
face. It
yeah.
helps break that. If you go with a little bit of pressure,
Uh
it
huh.
breaks that tissue, which then in turn tightens your skin.
Yeah.
So
It's just like muscle. You break it down
mm-hmm.
gently to then firm it up.
Rebuild it.
Yeah. And then going back to my hack of the day, red light therapy. Again, has shown promotes collagen production. Um, that, again, will strengthen your connective tissue. And then we have something called radio frequency treatment, and that was part of your hack, right?
Yes.
The whole, so the spa where Ingrid is, you do this, and this is a procedure I strongly recommend for anyone who has a few bucks to spare. It definitely reduces cellulite. So tell us a little bit more about it.
So not too much, because I'm going to leave out
Yeah,
so they can have to come in and see me.
yeah.
But it's a cavitation, radio frequency, and a vacuum. So there's three different parts, which some might say I love the vacuum.
I love that. It hurts like hell, but I love it.
She likes pain.
Yeah.
And
No, you can feel the vacuum goes in and it really breaks it. It's like a fascia blasting, breaks
basically,
everything up.
so everything has its own little niche.
Yeah.
You know, the cavitation kind of goes in, it has a little bit of infrared, so it doesn't have a little heat, which helps kind of break down and dilute.
Just like red light therapy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you do it in a specific, even though you can't spot reduce, you can kind of focus on an area.
Mm-hmm.
But due to the stimulation of a fat cell, you actually are able to stimulate all fat cells in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one is a radio frequency, which has little knobs,
Mm-hmm.
which also helps with the breaking down and diluting
Mm-hmm.
of fat cells.
Yeah.
And then the third but not least is the vacuum, which you will use a vacuum and move it towards the nearest lymphatic system or drainage.
Yes, it's like a lymphatic massage at the same
Yes.
time as it breaks.
So you're breaking, diluting, and then moving out. So it makes your skin tighter, smoother. and
Just
less
fabulous.
appearance
Just
of
fabulous.
cellulite.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's a great
and it's a good treatment base. Usually,
treatment.
the treatments are usually probably, I want to say you start seeing results like at 3 or 4, and a good amount is
Mhm.
8 to 12,
Yeah.
depending on what part you want to do.
Yeah.
Um, but it works
If I
really
had
good.
been smart, I would just have kept upkeep on
The
it, but
maintenance, and you
I
can do a maintenance,
but I then something else came in between. Well, we got to start from scratch, but that's okay. Not complete.
but it works really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really works.
Yeah.
It definitely does. Uh, and then there's something called subcision, which I've never tried, but it was something that in my research I came across. So it's kind of a needle that it's a minimally invasive procedure, but you needles to break up the, uh, the bands. So it's like
Hmm.
a fascia blasting, but you go into it with the needle. So, yep, well, but it can reduce the appearance of cellulite for up to 3 years.
Huh.
So this is not just going on top, this is going into. That sounds a little painful, but
Yeah.
hey, who knows? Another thing you can do that we often do in our faces is micro needling. And it's the same idea that those punctures creates a wound or a stress on your skin, and then the skin goes in and heals it, and then it heals. Or when it heals, it gets firmer. So same thing there. It really works with the collagen.
I will say with this caution, if always it's always great to go to a professional to do this. There is a way to buy them online.
Oh,
You just have to be careful and use it once.
yeah.
They sell them saying it's multiple use,
Oh, I wouldn't do any of these. Well, red light therapy, you
but it's been there's been unfortunately everyone's always kind of looking for either a quick buck or a quick
Mhm.
fix. So I've seen these
Mhm.
that people sell them, and the needles, they say they're good.
Mhm.
They get rusted. People
Ooh,
clean them with
scary.
alcohol and they use them again. So just be careful when you, especially when, because I've seen a lot of,
But I've never seen anyone use it for cellulite, but apparently you can.
well, it breaks down the tissue. And then
Yeah.
what they do is they buy them so they go in a little deeper.
Ooh.
But
Okay.
it's, people just
Okay.
don't think.
No, I would go to a
Yeah.
professional for this.
So, but I've seen it done. That's why I'm like, oh,
And then lastly, for the cosmetic procedures is cool sculpting.
I've seen that.
So
I
what
haven't done
that
it.
does, it's freezing the fat cells so that in that area they disappear. And if you don't have any fat cells there, there's nothing
Hmm.
can come through again. So yeah, that is. Although I will say with cool sculpting, not everyone is a candidate, and you got to have quite a bit of subcutaneous fat. You can't do anything for visceral fat. That's just not. But if you have some subcutaneous under the skin fat, you got to have quite a bit for it to work.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I've understood.
okay.
So, but it's something that will definitely minimize the appearance of cellulite. So those are some of the more kind of working on the actual problem, working on that mesh, the
Specific. Hmm.
structure. And then we have the quick fixes, which is more the putting the lipstick on the pig. If you are in a pinch and you need a quick fix, what
Or
can we
date night or an
do?
event.
Holy moly, I need to be in a bikini by the day after tomorrow. What do I do? I need to get into this dress, or my cellulite is showing through the pants. The first thing you want to think about is reducing water retention, because when
Mm.
you water retention and inflammation, and often if you're having some kind of systemic inflammation, it's a water retention.
Poofy.
Yes,
Puffy.
puffiness. And the more puffy you are, the more those
Dimples show up.
dimples are going to show, right? So anything that can reduce the water retention and reduce the inflammation, which are things like sauna, red light sauna, or infrared sauna, dry brushing, Dry brushing is
Mm,
great for the skin, but it's not going deep in and changing the structure. But it can definitely help you get rid of some water retention. Um, Lymphatic massage, just what we talked about with the gua sha, or getting a lymphatic massage will help drain the water from your water retention. It's not going changing the structure, but it's definitely getting rid of the puffiness. Um, Reducing sodium, not eating a bunch of fast food
junk.
junk, and avoiding alcohol because alcohol is also inflammatory, which then makes you puffier. Uh, Intermittent fasting can be a way to fast a little longer before a certain occasion because that too reduces the inflammation markers. And avoid any food that you're slightly sensitive to
Yeah.
because that will inflame you big time and increase cellulite dimples. Then there are some topical treatments. So I talked a little bit about creams before. A cream is not going to be changing your life, but it can fix the appearance. Same thing with those body wraps. I don't know if those are still around. They were super popular
They still have them.
a while back, like 10 years ago.
Hmm.
Everyone, because I remember when we were fairly new to Mary Kay, a lot of people did these wrap parties too. So
Yeah.
what they do, they drain fluids from certain. So you can definitely go in and spot treat, but of course it's going to come back. It's not like it's a fix, but for that special occasion, absolutely, and that will help. But you can also do creams that have caffeine
Hmm.
and retinol. Both of those have helped. And caffeine, think about it. It's we often say that drinking too much caffeine will make you pee a lot. Yes, because it is a diuretic.
Yeah.
Same thing with puffiness under the eyes. It's good to have an eye cream with caffeine because it kind of tightens and reduces fluid retention. So, and you can even find like coffee powder, some kind of high. I don't know if it's well, if you want to do that, do a little more research. But something you can use in the shower or use with some type of oil and just massage. That will drain.
Usually, some body scrubs have our toning lotion has
Has that? It does
has
have.
caffeine.
Oh, it does.
Yes, and so does
Oh,
the soothing eye gel.
okay.
So
Yeah.
caffeine is a key
Yeah.
ingredient.
It's not again going to be any miracle drug, but it definitely helps right then.
Hmm. So coffee grounds is good. Usually, you can mix it with
I wonder if you
something.
could do like instant coffee.
Usually,
That
it's
works.
instant coffee will disintegrate.
Oh, okay.
You want the coffee grounds,
Okay,
but you
coffee
could
grounds.
make a coffee ground scrub
Okay.
at home too.
Okay. Cool. And then, of course, a good spray tan or self tanner. Having tan skin will also diminish the appearance of cellulite. So, you guys do spray tanning. That's always.
And if spray tanning doesn't work, I know we've tried it. We
Mhm.
actually got some drops
What is
that you
that?
can add to your lotion, and
Oh,
cumulatively, it adds a nice tan. No
okay.
orange.
Yeah, because some of this, I will say, Mary Kay used to have a self tanner. They haven't had in a while. That gave the best color. It
Mm,
was not that orangey kind, and it didn't smell all weird because some self tanner will
yes.
smell, and sometimes they come out super orange. But
Remind me when I see you.
okay,
Yes,
so
you can try
and
it.
again, it's way. Even though being in the sun a little bit is great for vitamin D levels, you don't want to tan too much because it's not good for you. So those options, if you go into a special occasion, are great
Yes.
ways to
And you look really
look a little dimple free.
good.
So, and then there is something else that I have not tried and I will not try. It's called body tape. Apparently, you can tape yourself back. I know people that have done it here.
What?
Yeah. So you don't want a facelift, but if you're wearing something with a collar or you have long hair, you can tape back. There are tape. And I'm sure in Hollywood they use it a lot, or in movies and all those things. I
I
would
can
be
tape.
terrified of it
Oh, I can tape
loosening.
right here.
Well,
Wow.
obviously it's not a permanent
Like this.
fix unless you're permanently walking around with tape. But hey,
Every
maybe we
day.
should try that. Look,
Just if you go on a first date and you tape, just make sure you tape back.
then you just let it all go.
Wait, I gotta put my tape back on. Oh my god.
Between the tape and the push-up bra, it's all
And hair. Oh man.
yeah.
That's my first dates are virtual now. Oh Lord. Okay.
So yeah, those were some long-term ways and some short-term.
We should do an episode on like dating.
I haven't dated in so many years,
No,
I
but
wouldn't even know.
maybe we can get some guests. Oh, that'd be fun. Okay,
Oh,
never mind.
okay, dating tips. Yeah, maybe we have someone who knows, since we've been married forever, not to each other, but to our husbands.
Well, maybe together. We've been together long enough.
Yeah, it's almost like
Yeah.
our relationship is longer than most marriages last.
They
So
are.
there you
It
go.
is.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
There you have it. So that's what I had for a
love
more
it.
dimple-free life.
Tape and tan.
Yeah, but overall, keep with it. It's not you don't get cellulite overnight. You don't get rid of them overnight. But don't feel bad if you feel like you're the only one. No, we all have them somewhere. Some of us have more than others, but there is definitely help.
I think the biggest thing today is knowing that the cellulite is not just, being skinny or being too big. So really focusing on what we've talked about numerous times is resistant training.
Yep.
There's so many moms. I'm going to say moms because that's usually who is cardio. Yep. You're not going to get rid of it.
Nope.
Just doing
that is not. That is doing nothing for your for that mesh underneath the connective tissue. Cardio won't help with that. Nope. All right.
Love it.
Let's go check out where you have cellulite. No, just
how fun.
Kidding. All right, till next time, to a dimple-free life.
Cheers.
Cheers.